Hey everyone, thank you so much for taking the time out to come to the Digital Summit today. I really hope you all have learned some really great information and have taken the time to interact with some of the presenters. And I want to say thank you again to all the presenters that have taken the time to be here and help make today what it is. It's just an opportunity to network, learn some new tips and tricks to help us build our business and become better real estate agents. For those who don't know, I am Amanda Webb, and I am going to be showing you how to use content marketing in your online business. So I do know that we have several new people in here today. So just a little bit of background about who I am. I was born and raised in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, have lived here my whole life. I am a graduate of Texas A&M University at Commerce, and I graduated with a double bachelor's there in journalism and sociology. I got my start in real estate marketing in 2015 with Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage here in DFW, and I had my opportunity to get my real estate license in 2016. So yes, I do have my license, but I do not actively buy and sell real estate. I just do referrals. So let's talk a little bit about marketing and how I can help you grow your business by utilizing content marketing. Here's the thing. Sales is not selling anymore. It's about building trust and educating your followers. And I love this quote. And the reason I think I love it is because the way the world has shifted and the way we do business now is not just about picking up the phone or going from house to house, door knocking, or going into different businesses trying to earn their business. A lot of people want to know who you are, and they want the opportunity to earn trust in you, and they want to know that you know what you're talking about. So when it comes to marketing, lead generation, and your reputation, you have to realize that someone doesn't become your best friend or your client overnight. You develop a relationship with them, and over time they become your go-to person, right? So we don't just meet someone and suddenly they're our new best friends. We get to know them. We hang out with them on a regular basis. We follow them online. So I want you to start looking at your clients the same way. They don't hire you the first time that they meet you because a lot of them may not know who you are. So develop a relationship with them. Reach out and just say hi and get to know them and ask them questions about their life, and don't just, always try to be selling them. Build a relationship with them. So because that's what online marketing is. It's about building that online relationship. As of July 2019, so about 6 months ago, there were over 1.3 million real estate agents in the United States. 1.3 million. So what does this tell us? It tells us that everybody knows someone in real estate, whether that's directly or indirectly. So the question is how do you stand out in a city full of real estate agents? How do you set yourself apart? And the way that you can do that is by utilizing content marketing. But you don't just jump right into content marketing. You have to have some framework set up and all your tools and systems in place before you can start moving forward with it. So today, that's really what I'm going to focus on, is helping you get your framework set up. And the first thing that you're going to want is to have a customized website. And your website needs to have custom content on there. Because when you don't customize your content to meet the needs of your ideal or your primary client, they're going to look for someone who does meet their needs. Always take the time to write custom content, because by doing so, you will allow your website to move up in the searches. So think Google or Yahoo and Bing. Make sure the information that you have on there does include information about the buying and selling process. And while that may seem like common sense, a lot of people just have some very basic information on there. Actually take the time to break down the process and what they can expect when they go into the real estate market. Also include information about the communities and the areas that you serve. And something that you may do within those communities and the areas are having searches set up for some of the big or more notable neighborhoods in those cities. So when you're writing about your community, really think about, things to do in that area, maybe some real estate tips, and maybe if you are known for some notable people living there, you may include information about them as well. And then you also want to make sure that you have testimonials on your website, because it allows visitors to know what it's like to work with you. The benefits of having a really great website is when someone is looking for information, they're going to go to a website that answers their questions. So take a moment at the end of today's training, and go review your own website. Does it include information and answer questions of your typical buyer and seller? You want to write to where you answer their questions without them having to ask. And when you do that, it really shows that you are a resource because you're thinking of every aspect of the buying and selling process. Because here's the truth. When someone's looking for a new home, they're going to go to those big websites such as Zillow or Trulia. But when they're looking for information, they're going to turn to a real estate agent. So be that agent that they can turn to that's going to answer their questions. When you are planning out your content for your website, you want to make sure that you are including keywords. A lot of agents have a website that will have a lot of great information, but it's not being found because of the lack of keywords. By knowing which keywords are being used in your area, you can structure your website and the content on there to move you up in the search engines. And eventually you'll be able to rank right there at the top. A resource that I use quite often when I'm working with clients is I use an SEO analyzer. And by using this, I'm sending my client's website through this analyzer to make sure that I have everything properly tagged, and I set it up the best way to be found for setting up their website to be found the best ways online. Here's where I see a lot of people start to struggle when it comes to writing for SEO, is they don't understand how to include their keywords or how to go about researching. To properly optimize your search engine optimization, your keywords should be found in several places, including the page title, the meta description. You want to have what's called an H1 header. And then if you have images on the page, also include keywords in the descriptions or what's called the ALT text. Make sure you don't keyword stuff. When you do this, Google recognizes it and they don't like it. And that's a problem, is some agents will think, okay, I need to rank for these words. So for example, I want to rank for Dallas real estate agent. So they start putting Dallas real estate agent in every other sentence, and it doesn't flow properly. When you do that, Google's going to ding you. It's not going to move your website up. So you want to make sure that when you're writing for your content and you're including your keywords, everything flows naturally. Blogs. So when you are building out your website, I always encourage agents to blog because it allows you to showcase that expertise just a little bit more. So a question that I get quite often are, what are blogs? And blogs are just little articles that you write on your website. I always encourage you to have them at least 500, but the closer you can get to 1,000 words, the better. I do have some topics and some agents that they just want shorter things because it may just be an event that's taking place in their area and they're not planning to rank for it. They just wanted to have that information on their website to share with their followers. So sometimes it can be less, but just realize if you do write under 500, Google may not look at it as a resource. When you're planning out your blog, you want to make sure that you do a mixture of real estate information and local information. And the reason you want to do this is because not only are you the real estate expert, but you're the local expert. So you really want to showcase that expertise. And one of the biggest benefits about blogging is it adds that SEO. And the more you keep your website updated, the more Google's going to realize that you have an active site and that it's a resource. And so when people start going back to it more and more often, they're going to recognize that, okay, people are finding use out of this website and it's going to help move you up. And then the great thing is when you keep an updated blog, you can actually reuse that content multiple ways. You can use it for newsletters, social media content, and as I just said, the more you send people back to your website, the more your website looks as a resource to Google. So these are the three things that you really want to include when you're building out your content marketing. So you want to showcase that expertise. You want to make sure that you're educating your followers as well. You're the expert. So what do people need to know? And then you're going to also include your promotional or business content, which is going to be information about your listings or open houses that are going on. So to break this down a little bit more, as a community expertise, you need to sell the community. We all know that when someone purchases a house, not only are they purchasing the home itself, but they are making an investment into the community. And the more people love the area that they live, the longer they're going to stay there. So what are some ways that you can showcase that community expertise? You can do it by showcasing local businesses. So maybe there's a new restaurant that opened, a new boutique, or any other place that you can think of. So go in there, maybe you can write about it. You can do a video with the store owner. If it's a coffee shop or a restaurant, just check in while you're there and write a little review on your business page. And, kind of when you give other small businesses attention, they're more likely to give you attention as well. Events and things to do. So always include these in different ways, but everyone likes to go out and have things to do when the weekend comes around or they have a day off. So if there's free events or even paid events that are going on, make sure you share that information. And you can do that through blogs or emails, posting to social media. And it doesn't have to necessarily be like a structured event. It could just be general things to do. So just as a quick example, I am here in the far North Dallas area in the suburb of Carrollton, and I'm about 10 or 15 minutes west of Plano. And I was actually writing a Plano community page for a client not too long ago. And I realized that they have a zip lining park at one of the community parks that they have there. I have lived in this area my entire life, and I never realized that they had the zip lining course over there. So I told my husband this summer, I want to get over there and check it out because it's something that I've never had the opportunity to do. I'd love to go zip lining, but how many other hidden gems do I not know about just because I haven't taken the time to really get to know my own community? So maybe you can do that as well. Go find those hidden gems in your community and share them with your followers. Another way to showcase that expertise is through your stats. So when you're sharing your local stats, you want to keep them simple and give people a reason to reach out and get a little bit more information. So think of, easy things that are simple to understand, like the days on market, maybe the average price per home sold or the number of houses sold in a month. And then when you're building this out, make sure you offer them a way to contact you to get a more detailed report. So I had the opportunity to work with an agent last year, and we worked for several months together, and I helped him become like the go-to person over in East Dallas, and he is still, going strong over there. He did hire a full-time assistant there in the office, and so I trained her, and she's doing great and helping him with stuff now, but it's just so great to see the things that we got started on together, and he's still growing off of that now. So let's talk about educating your followers. So what do they need to know about navigating the real estate market or just being homeowners in general? So there's going to be 3 different buckets when you are planning on your education type post. So what's going on in the market? What are some general questions that you can ask them? Or what are some tips and tricks that you can offer going through the buying and selling process? Financial information. What are the mortgage rates doing? How do you handle homestead exemptions? If you work with first-time home buyers, maybe you can share information on grants or down payment assistance programs, sorry. And then just general homeownership information. What design trends are really popular right now? How do they find a great contractor to work with? If you're in an area that had a storm come through, how do you handle your insurance company after the storm? So just, at any time that you can relate it back to a current activity that's going on. So I know back in October, we had some tornadoes come through the Dallas area. And so I worked with several agents to get information out on how to handle the contractor and your insurance after the storm. So anytime you can relate back to current events, that's always a great way to really showcase expertise. And this is something I do with one of my clients out in Possum Kingdom. I keep her in front of her past clients, and we email her clients pretty regularly. And I swear every time we send out an email, we get 2 or 3 responses, whether it's, this is really great information, I shared it with this person, or hey, make sure you follow up with me in a few weeks or a few months, because we're going to be ready to come find our dream lake home. She specializes in lake houses out in Possum Kingdom. About 20% of your content is going to be what I call your promotional content or your business type content. So this is going to be like your listings. So, make sure you're sharing your new listings, or anytime that you're closing, make sure you're celebrating your success, and that just make sure everything that you're posting isn't about that. If you're not taking pictures with your clients at closing and sharing the information and getting testimonials, I encourage you to start doing that now. Open houses. So where can your clients come and see you in person? Maybe you can also kind of take your open houses one step farther and start doing some different themes. When I was with Coldwell Banker prior to starting my own business, there was a team out in the Rockwell area, and I didn't know them personally, but I saw a bunch of stuff that they used to do. And one of the things that they did quite often with open houses is they had themes. And every open house had a different theme. So they would base all of their marketing and their refreshments, and they would do some type of giveaway based on these different themes. So maybe you can make, and they actually became known as like the go-to open house people, because they just would get people into the door. Everyone wanted to see what theme they came up with and how they utilized it. So that could be something you could consider as well, is how can you make your open houses stand out a little bit more? And then, like I said earlier, testimonials. If you aren't getting client testimonials, I encourage you to start doing that now. People want to know what it's like to work with you. So anytime that you can get them, make sure you're sending them to Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. But if you have a spot on your website for testimonials, put them there. And definitely you want to make sure you're getting testimonials for your Google business page. And if you do not have a Google business page, definitely look up how to set up Google My Business. The great thing about that is when someone goes to Google and they type in Dallas real estate agent, even before the organic searches come up, you're going to see a map there. And that map is of the businesses in those areas. And so the more, if you start putting reviews on there, while they do rotate the top 3 every time someone goes to that page, the more reviews and the more active your business page is, the more you will show up in that top 3. So that's a really easy way to get right up there at the top of Google. So when content marketing is done correctly, you accomplish 3 things. And those 3 things are, you give your followers a know, like, and trust value. And the more people know, like, and trust you, the more you're going to get repeat clients. How great would it be to spend 1 or 2 years of your real estate business really building up your email database and staying in contact with people? And before you know it, you have a full referral-based business. So you're not having to go out and buy leads. You're not having to spend as much time nurturing people, because people are going to trust you. You're going to become that go-to person. But if you don't take the time to allow people to know, like, and trust you, it's going to take longer to nurture those leads. And we all know how long it can take to nurture real estate leads sometimes. So the more you can stay in contact with your past clients, the more they're going to remember, okay, we're ready to get into the market again. You're going to be their first phone call. But when they hear somebody else say, hey, I'm ready to buy or sell, do you have any recommendations? They're going to recommend you. So really look at content marketing as your long-term plan, and while you have these other short things in the interim. But here's the problem. A lot of agents will come to me and say, I don't have time to come up with this much content. How do I start doing all this, because I want to do it? And I'm going to show you a quick way how you can start reusing content. The first way is, I want you to sit down and start recording videos. Videos are very hard in the beginning, and I will be the first to tell you that it's not always easy to sit down and just record a video and start talking. You'll hear me say and trail off here and there, but sit down and record a video and then transcribe it. The great thing is, not only do you have a video, but you have a blog now. So when you transcribe that video, you can go through, you read through it and clean it up a little bit. But even if you sit down and talk for 5 or 10 minutes, you could have a 2,000 to 3,000 word blog. How great would that be? After you have that video and the blog completed, then you can send an email. So what you can do is just write a little email popping into their inbox saying, hey, this is some information I wanted to share with you. You can view it here or read about it here. And you can share one or the other. Don't feel like you have to post in your email, you have to put out the blog and the video. Just choose one or the other. But send an email redirecting them back to either the video or the blog. From there, you can pull out key points that you've made in that piece and pair it with a great image, whether that's just an image or an infographic, and then post it online, and there's a social media post. And depending on how long the piece is, you could get anywhere from 3 to 5 or even 10 social media postings out of one blog. And then after that, you can use it actually to build your email list. So as an example, maybe you do a blog post over the 10 free events going on in your area during the month of February. So you create this post and you send it out to your email. From there, maybe you want to build the list and have more people to contact. So you run a Facebook ad and you say, hey, I put together this list of the free things going on in our area next month. Who wants a copy of it? So what you do is they put in their name and email, you get that information, and then they get the list of the free events. So one piece of content used several different ways. If you're still struggling with it and you're not sure where to start, or maybe you're like, okay, I want to get started, but I need a little help and guidance, then I really want to encourage you to set up a free strategy session with me. During this free strategy session, what we're going to do is we're going to review your marketing, your website, and see what we need to do to get you on the path to really create a long-term content marketing strategy. You can grab that session right by clicking the link. I dropped it down in the comments below, or you can just write down the marketing-strategy-session.as.me. I have several sessions available each week, and they go pretty fast, so make sure you grab yours now. I do have a few available still for this week. And then don't forget, you can also contact me online or through social media. My email is Amanda@Gravity Real Estate Marketing. You can catch me on my website at gravityrealestatemarketing.com, and then on either Facebook or Instagram at Gravity Real Estate Marketing. Again, grab one of those sessions. Let's take a look at your stuff, because no matter what, when we get off the phone, you're going to have a plan in place, ready to implement on how to really start utilizing content marketing to not only grow your business, but start creating a referral-based business for yourself. If you have any other questions, make sure you share them below. Otherwise, have a great week, and thank you all so much for participating in our summit today. Thanks.